While the two were walking, Quinn couldn't help but think back to the fight between Vorden and Momo. "Hey, Vorden, I know you said your ability resets every day, but you never said you could wield two abilities at once," Quinn asked. "Didn't I?" Vorden said with an awkward smile. "Well, there are some in my family that can even hold three." "Really? So how does it exactly work?" "Well, if I told you our family secrets, Quinn, you would have to become a part of our family. Either that or I'd have to kill you." For a second, there was an awkward silence between the two, as Quinn wasn't sure if Vorden was joking or not. "Relax, will you?" Vorden said. "But yeah, I honestly can't tell you anything. You know Originals rules and all." Vorden belonged to one of the original families, meaning the only people that knew how to copy other abilities were the Blades. "Yeah, sorry about that, but if you don't mind me asking, if you copy an ability you've never received before, how are you able to fight with them so well?" "Let me show you something," Vorden said. The two of them continued to walk down the high street, which was filled with shops, until Vorden eventually stopped just outside a game store. The two of them headed inside, and there were all types of games filled on the shelves. Then Vorden pointed at the VR capsule. "You see that thing? I grew up playing on that." "What?" Quinn thought. "There's a popular game played in the outside world and within the military schools called Power Fighter. The game itself is used to help people train. The VR capsule can record all attributes of your body. Anything you do in the real world, you can do in the game. The only thing that it can't do is record your ability." Vorden then walked up to the capsule and touched the front of the capsule. "Welcome, user ID VB copy," the machine said. As Vorden logged into the game, an ability tab. The list seemed almost endless. "Wait, I thought you said the game couldn't record your ability," Quinn asked. "It can't, but it uploads into its database every ability that is shared out there in the world that we know today. Of course, only the ones that are made public. So original abilities and abilities that have yet to be discovered aren't on this list. I can select any ability I want. Even if I can't perform it in the real world, I can practice with it in the game." Quinn finally understood how Vorden was able to become well adverse with multiple different abilities. "The game is actually very popular with the other military schools," Vorden continued to explain. "So much so that the military has designed its own servers. Before you enter the game, you can even input your power level. This way it will match you with those people around the same level." Quinn then walked up to the capsule and started to inspect it. It sounded amazing and was exactly what Quinn needed. This way he was able to practice against other students without others realizing it was him. Then, when Quinn lifted up the tag on it, there were more zeros on the thing than he had ever seen before. There was no way he could afford such a thing. Vorden started to laugh. "Don't worry about it. You don't need to buy one yourself. The Academy has a room full of them." "Really? Come on, let's head back and give it a go." The sun was starting to set outside, so it was just the right time for Vorden and Quinn to head back to the Academy, and when they did, they immediately went over to the VR room. The two of them went up to the front counter that was stationed next to the small cafe. "Hi, we would like to rent out 2 capsules, please," Vorden asked. "A single capsule will cost you 10 credits per hour," the female replied. Hearing that number made Quinn gulp. For some reason, he had expected the capsules to be free, but of course, they would have to pay to rent them. With Quinn's 10 credits he received a day, at most he could play the game for was an hour a day. "All right, are you ready?" Vorden asked. "Huh? What did you pay?" "Yeah, don't worry about it. Come on, let's go." The woman behind the counter had handed Vorden 2 tags numbered 23 and 24. "Here we are," Vorden said. The two of them slowly climbed into the VR capsule. When the machine sensed they were both comfortably inside, the capsule lid slowly started to close in on both of them. Then, before they realized it, their minds were completely transported to another space. Quinn was now in a large, empty white room. "Welcome to Power Fighter. What would you like to do? Log in, register, play as guest." As Vorden had suggested for now, Quinn decided to play as a guest. Then he went on through the system and started to search for Vorden's gamer ID. Once he had selected to join the person's room, he patiently waited for Vorden to accept. "Room invite accepted. Transporting in 3, 2, 1. Then, in an instant, Quinn had been transported to another empty white space room. Only this time, Vorden was there as well. He looked like a completely different person. Both his hands had been wrapped in bandages, and on his face, he wore a scarf. Vorden, is that you?" "Oh, sorry," Vorden said, and the next second he looked like the ordinary Vorden at school. "What was that?" Quinn asked. The game allows you to customize your character, so you can make it look like whatever you want. Although they cost credits, so I wouldn't worry about that. The sound of the game was just getting even better for Quinn. Allowing the users to create a character to be used in the game meant that no one would know it was him, unless they knew his username. "Do you want to watch me play a few games so you know how the game works?" Vorden asked. "Sure." When an opponent was found, the two of them started out on the opposite side of the room. Then Quinn could see a big countdown appear over the arena. When the countdown reaches 0, the match immediately began. Vorden was going up against another Earth user. The match had only lasted a total of 5 minutes, but while watching the game, Quinn started to figure out how it worked. After that, Quinn continued to watch Vorden play a few more games, and before they knew it, their time was up. It was getting late, and it was almost time for their curfew, so Quinn and Vorden decided it would be best to head back to the dorm rooms. When they arrived, they noticed that the lights were out, and Peter was already in the room fast asleep. "Does he look okay?" Quinn asked.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app. Catch our next episode only on Pocket FM Universe.